Now, I'm going to talk about English 4 and 5 syllable words. My name is Bebe Tujanmoko from Sanata Dharma University, Yogyakarta. First, the introduction. In this lesson, we're going to talk about the stress assignment in 4 and 5 syllable words. The talk will cover the stress in adjectives, nouns, and verbs. Then it will give both the rules and the practice. Number one, adjectives, or number A, adjectives. Multi-syllable adjectives ending in "-l" have the primary stress on the third syllable from the last, like in the following words: behavioral, beneficial, analytical, biological, economical, geological, additional, constitutional, conversational, educational, instructional, transactional. And then adjectives with the suffix "-l" after "-man" have the primary stress on the second syllable from the last. We have like compartmental, compartmental, fundamental, governmental, instrumental, should be instrumental, ornamental, temperamental, experimental, instrumental, monumental, sentimental. Well, now, as you see here, you have a dot over here, and this dot means it receives a secondary stress. So this is a second loudest syllable: compartmental, compartmental, compartmental. So part here is louder than come. Fundamental, fundamental. So fun is louder than mental. Governmental, governmental, governmental. The loudest is mental. And then gov is the second loudest, and vern probably the third loudest, and is the least loudest or the least loud because that's the unstressed syllable. We have an example of primary here on the word governmental, on ment, secondary stress on gov, tertiary stress on vern, and weak stress or unstressed on we have governmental. Here we have temperamental. Tem is the second loudest, and men here is the it's the loudest syllable. This is primary stress. And then we have adjectives which ends with -ical. They have the primary stress on the antepenult syllable, antepenult syllable, or syllable from the penultimate is the second from the last, and antepenult is the third from the last. We have analytical, analytical, biological, biological, and you have empirical, empirical, economical, grammatical. Here the stress is on ma, and this one is too close to ma over here, and therefore this is pronounced as grammatical. We have grammar, but when we have the adjective, it becomes grammatical because the stress is on ma, grammatical, and gram becomes gram here. Historical, historical, identical, mechanical, political, political, theoretical. Say here is the second loudest, and the primary stress is on theoretical, theoretical. technological, technological. We have adjectives which ends with if or ative, and they have the primary stress on the same syllable as the stem. So whatever the stem is, and the stress is on the same syllable as the stem. Now let's see. We have alter. It's from to alter, alter, alter. And then the original form on the same form is the verb to alter, to change, and the adjective here has a stress on the second on the same syllable as alter, namely alternative, alternative, argumentative. Here we have a change of the it's from argue or argue, argumentative, conservative, conservative, competitive, 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 comprehensive, comprehensive. I here prefer to pronounce as calm here because the distance between because it receives secondary stress. So here in con we can say conservative because con here doesn't have any stress. Competitive, competitive. It's come here, but because here the distance between this syllable and the primary stress is you have two syllables or one syllable over here, and it receives secondary stress. Therefore, come here is pronounced as com. I mean the word the letter com is not pronounced as come but is com, and because it receives a secondary stress. Comprehensive, comprehensive. Reproductive, reproductive. Innovative, innovative. Informative, imperative, representative. So re here has the secondary stress, re, representative, and sen here has the primary stress. Now let's continue with the next kind of adjectives. Here we have the us adjective, multi-syllable adjectives ending with us, have the primary stress on the second syllable from the last, like in anonymous, anonymous, continuous, delicious, delicious, homogeneous, 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 hilarious, mysterious, mysterious, advantages, 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 tages, ridiculous, miscellaneous, miscellaneous, simultaneous. Here you have tages. Here, pay attention to this. If you have A and G like this, and in this stress, the pronunciation is usually you have T A G or you have L A N E. You have E here, and also E here. The pronunciation of this is usually like A B C. The first letter. Advantageous, miscellaneous, miscellaneous, lanous, miscellaneous, simultaneous. Here you have continuous because this is too close to the stress syllable. So we do not say, I prefer not to say con, but it's con because the stress is too close. If you say con, then it's loud, then because it's weak and it's just continuous, delicious. Now you have the next kind of adjective. The adjectives which end with ill have this primary stress on the second syllable from the last. It's the second syllable from the last. You have artificial, artificial. The art here has the secondary stress, and fe here has the primary stress. Artificial, beneficial, beneficial, ceremonial, componential, componential, evidential, That's the previous form, and then now we have the last kind of adjectives in the 4 and 5 syllables. Here we have atre and inre. They are similar in the pronunciation, and they have the primary stress on the fourth syllable from the last, like in explanatory. So 1, 2, 3, 4. From the back, it's the fourth syllable is plan over here. Explanatory, explanatory, exclamatory, exclamatory, conservatory, conservatory, serve, conservatory, conservatory. Serve here, the stress is on serve. Conservatory, inflammatory, inflammatory, obligatory, mandatory, mandatory, regulatory, regulatory, circulatory, circulatory, compensatory, 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 laboratory, laboratory. So this is a law because this is not stress, and stress is the primary stress on board, laboratory. So the stress usually on the fourth syllable from the back, explanatory, exclamatory, exclamatory, conservatory, conservatory, conservatory. And then now we have nouns. You have multi-syllable nouns ending with the suffix ere have the primary stress on the third syllable from the last. So it's the third syllable from the last. We have like in activity, activity, community, facility, humidity, humidity, accessibility, accessibility. You see here you have ability. If you have ability, the stress is on the syllable b, ability, responsibility. So this one is for sure. If you have ability, bill over here from able, accessible, then you have accessibility. The secondary stress is also on here because it's a long syllable. You need a secondary stress. Access, accessibility. Responsibility, responsibility. The stress is on ability, and the primary stress is on ability. Responsibility. Continuity, continuity. Creativity. Elasticity, elasticity. Generality, generality. Generosity. Hospitality. And once again, as you see, you have the secondary stress. It's one syllable usually from the primary stress. Generosity, hospitality. And then you have availability, availability, availability. Accessibility, responsibility. It's a repetition from here on here, but that's okay. And then the second types of nouns, here we have the nouns which ending with "tion" or occasion, and they have the primary stress on the second syllable from the last, like below. So you have administration, administration. It's administration. Here, please pay attention. It must be a administration. Collaboration, collaboration, collaboration. Consideration. Examination, examination. classification, classification, cation, classification, recommendation, recommendation, accusation, accusation. Here you have the primary unsay, and you have accusation, allocation, collocation, combination, combination, declaration, declaration, definition, definition, education, generation, graduation. So once again, if you have shen or occasion, the stress is on the second from the back: allocation, consideration, definition. As a practice, probably we can a little exaggerate a little on the stress over here on the syllable which receives a primary stress. The next we have verbs. We have, well, English have many 4 or 5 syllable words or verbs, and most English verbs consist of one syllable, like go, come, eat. Those are the first syllable. Or you have two, like forget, begin, remember, prefer, and 3 syllables like manifest. You have represent. You have so most of them are in 2 or 1 or 2 or 3 syllables, and the number of 4 or 5 syllable verbs are not many. You have approximate. Usually we have the 8 verbs: approximate, associate, communicate, investigate, participate, underestimate. It's on S. Underestimate, appreciate, differentiate, differentiate. I don't give here. I forgot that, but it's on the estimate, underestimate, and on here you have the appreciate and differentiate. Well, that's all. Thank you very much. See you in the next lesson.